Happy Sunday or happy day. If you don't join us live, you watch the recording. We're glad that you joined us, no matter how it shows up for you. My name is Joan. I'm the moderator of the Word I'm the Word Teachings Facebook page and the group page. It's primarily me who posts, and it's me you get to see on Sundays, occasionally during the week, although that hasn't shown up for a while, right? We're talking today using the book of Realization. Specifically pages 118 to maybe 122 or so. Let's see what shows up. Beyond the known, realization. So as we do before we begin, we say claims of truth. As Paul would say, to create a common field. Just allow ourselves to be present in this moment now. Maybe to surrender those outside forces that are causing some distractions. Just come into our own knowing and into the upper room as we journey through these teachings today. So I invite you to say these words with me, or just allow my words to be yours. And there's no right or wrong. It's however it shows up for you. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. I'm in the upper room. I have come. I have come. I have come. Behold, make all things new. All things new. For myself right now, I can feel my heart space expanding. The light in me, brighter and brighter, joining with the light in you. So as I said, we're talking from beyond the known realization. Seeing ourselves in our perfected state. Knowing ourselves as worthy, worthy, worthy of all the gifts and all the blessings. And aligning to our teachings as the truth of what they are. Opportunities for us to surrender those things that no longer serve us. Opportunities for us to see where perhaps we're still holding on to a frame or an idea that's no longer the truth of us. That was really never the truth of us. When you say the words, I am in my perfected state, or I am worthy, what comes up for you? Maybe you have some chatters like, no, you're not. Yep. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but what about this? And what about that? Or, maybe you say, I am worthy. And then all of a sudden your shoulder hurts or something. A place in your body where you're holding on unworthiness. And I know it's a little Perhaps for you, a little cray-cray, but remember, when we do this work, when Paul Selig does this work, when the guides speak about this, this is all energy. This is not just air. This is the quantum field, right? As we use the claims of truth, they go out into the field, blessing, blessing, blessing all those before us, not just the ones we see with our physical eyes, but word everywhere. Wherever that soul is, the one that is willing to accept that blessing and say thank you. And in the same vein, right, our physical bodies are maps for us of where we're holding on to something. So that pain, it could be because you've torn your rotator cuff or something, right? It absolutely could. And it could be just a place where it's a reminder to you, where you say, I am in my knowing, and then this hurts, and you're like, oh, well, okay, what are you trying to show me, body? What are you telling me? And be willing, if it's not something you've ever done, if you're not an energy healer, if you've never done Reiki or work with this in this way, just be willing to sit with what shows up for you, to be in a place of surrender, to see what that might be. And if you don't get anything, that's perfectly fine too. So what is our perfected state? It's where we see ourselves as the truth of who we are. It's where we know ourselves as the truth of who we are. We are word, divinity in form. We're not this body. This body is our vehicle to have this journey here on planet Earth. We're so much greater than that. If we could see ourselves in truth, without the frames, without the masks, without the ideas, without all that, the programming, the control energy, the fear, right? If we could see others in that same way, no matter how they show up to us, they're still word, divinity, and form. We are still one for them, with them. And I'm sure you've experienced this where you're out and about and you yourself you're feeling great and you have no fear and you're loving everyone. You're saying, I see you, I know who you are, I know what you are, I know how you serve. You're putting that out there. And then you come across someone who's not that. And you're always in choice in that moment. Do you see them in their perfected state, or do you see that mask that they're wearing in that particular moment? That frame that they're holding on to that says that they're not worthy, or it says they should be in fear, or that they're not safe. Do we lift them up? Do we lift ourselves up in that moment? Or do we cast them and ourselves out? So we're still in this time of the pandemic, and my wife and I went to an open house yesterday, and it was interesting to see where the others in that open house were in a complete state of fear. Don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't breathe anywhere near me. Sort of moving through the house like a robot. And then the others who were just like, hey, they were, what is the word? They were present to who they are. Which doesn't mean that they were disrespectful of the fact that this is a pandemic. They wore their mask, They took all the precautions. We didn't shake hands with anyone. They were present to the truth of who they were, and they weren't residing in that place of fear. And I'm sure you experienced that. I'm not sure how you could not if you leave your house at all. You don't even have to leave your house. In fact, just go through Facebook or Instagram or right? The different experiences. And if we can see ourselves in our perfected state and we can maintain that vibration, we're in the upper room, we can bless others. And isn't that our work, really? Isn't that a lot of what the guides Melchizedek teaches us through the books by Paul Selig, channeled by Paul? To know ourselves with one, with all that is. We don't have to like them. We don't have to have dinner with them. But we do have to see them in their truth. And when we don't see them in their truth, where don't we see ourselves that way? Right? So I talk about teachings, and for me, that would be a teaching. If I went into a store, I went to this open house, and someone was in a great deal of fear, and I immediately was like, oh, that's right. It's COVID. I gotta make sure my mask is perfect. Don't touch anything. Right? Just if I went into that space, which doesn't mean I'm not taking the precautions. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you can be in a place of respectful of what's around you and respectful of the people around you and the dictates of modern times that we wear masks and we use hand sanitizer and all those things, and we could still maintain our high vibration. So I'm in a situation where I see someone in complete and total fear about it. Now I'm in choice. Do I see her or him as the truth of who they are? I see you through the eyes of love. I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you serve, and I maintain my own vibration. And I put that energy out into the field. Or do I look at what's happening around me and then drain with that lower vibration? Do I stay in my perfected state, as one with all that is, or not that? And if it's not that, it's a great opportunity to, one, not judge myself for doing that. And two, look at where I'm still holding on to perhaps fear, or where I'm still judging, where I don't see with clarity, where I don't feel one with someone, what I damns me back. It's an opportunity for me to heal that. For myself, absolutely. And for word everywhere. As I go up, as you go up, as who is on here? Kathy goes up, as Eileen goes up. We all go up. And seeing ourselves in our perfected state has, again, it's not this physical body, but we have this physical body. And so that's also part of it, where we look at ourselves and we don't feel worthy, where we look at ourselves in the mirror and we judge what this physical body might look like. So look in the mirror at yourself and truly say, I love you to yourself. And know that as your truth. It's on page 118, day 14, if you're following along at all. Each time you decide that you're worthy of being who you truly are, you encourage every aspect of the self to claim what it may know. Each time you decide that what you may claim may exist beyond the known, you align to the potential that already exists and has not been expressed in the material realm. Each time you say yes to the manifested divine as you claim it. The agreement is made, and the projection of the divine, the expression of your being, claims what it encounters in a high light, a high tone, a high way of being. Claims what is before us, not through our words, our being. We claim what is before us in a high light, a high tone, a high way of being. As you say yes to what you truly are and have always been, you demonstrate it through the life you live. And the manifestation of the life you live must move to a new agreement that exists beyond the known, beyond the ideas you've held, the agreements you've made and seek to justify because they have been there so long. Each time you say yes to what you truly are, you give it permission to be claimed, expressed, and known for the good of all. Each time you say yes to what you truly are, you give it permission to be claimed, expressed, and known for the good of all. How powerful is that? How awesome is that? How peaceful is that? You surrender the low frequencies of anger, guilt, shame, judgment, competition energies, whatever it may be. I've shared with you the mudra of I surrender, which tells the quantum field, it's a directive to the quantum field. I'm willing to surrender. And do you have to say words when you say that? No. Just you do have to say yes. You do have to be willing. What we are saying to you each is that the manifest world, as you have comprehended it, is a manifestation of the ideas of humanity that have been claimed over centuries, over millennia. And each of you decides your relation to what you see through the fabric of the world that you have decided is so real. As everything is in motion and vibration, everything may be known in a new way, and the malleability of form may be comprehended by you as you ascend to the level of vibration where the refinement of being claims you in less density. As you experience vibration, the palpable vibration that comes when you claim the intentions, you're beginning to manifest in response to the higher realms. The vibration of the word, as expressed by you, is a high claim of knowing and being, and its resonance has an octave that you participate in through your alignment to it. At this moment, anyone who hears these words is participating in an act of manifestation. And the manifestation of the divine, the who and what you have always been in high alignment and real expression or manifestation, is what has come. Now, to deny the divine is what you are, which is a temptation for most of you, is to deny the divine in all manifestation. She may be divine. She's a good person. I cannot be divine. I'm not a good person. Separates you from the source of your being and predicates your allowance to the claim of your divinity on some idea of good or bad. Again, it's just an idea. The manifest self, the physical being we know yourself through, has come to be regarded in many ways as a form that is here to serve the mind, do its duty, and then be done with. In fact, what form is an expression, as is everything else that you see. And the articulated form you have taken may be re-known, re-understood in a higher way as you ascend in form and field. What this means is that the vibratory oracle that you are, the full being that you are, may be reconceived beyond the form you have taken. And this is not done by will, as you would think it, but through alignment to the inherent perfection of the divine This is not done by will, as you would think it, but through alignment to the inherent perfection that the divine holds in form. What perfection is an agreement to the absolute, because the absolute is perfection, cannot be other than what it truly is. The mask that you have worn, the small self's identity, in some ways precludes the shining truth of your being to be claimed and held and known. As you decide that the what that you are in form and fields is expressed in fullness, the vibration of your being assumed in fullness claims the world it sees in like accord. Claims the world it sees in like accord. And the being that you are is removed from what it was because it knows itself in a new field, the upper room, as it were. The claim I know what I am is the agreement to what you are in high vibration, that the form of all things is of God and can be known as such. But the acquiescence to be rendered new in form comes at a cost, and the cost is a simple one. Any identity that has been held in opposition to truth must be reclaimed in a new way. And the only way that this is done is through alignment and agreement to become what you can only be manifest as in a high octave. Your perfected self. Who we are when we know ourselves as one with all that is. Without the beliefs and the ideas and the controls of a society that says, do this, do that, like this person, not that person. We don't walk in other people's shoes. We don't know what they experience. When I hear some people share what they are experiencing in this life right now, I'm thankful that I'm not experiencing that. And yet I am, if we're all one. I know, it's a lot, right? I may not be in the physical body in a jail cell with that person. We're in a hospital room. We're in a psychiatric ward. Or on a farm in Iowa. Right? I'm not there physically. But to know ourselves as one with all that is to know ourselves as one with all that is. So what could I do? See them as their truth. I see that person before me. May I know who they truly are. May I see them for who they truly are so that they may remember who they truly are. For the love of all, for the love of all, for the love of all. The claim we offered you, I am free, I am free, I am free, claims the self beyond the encoded agendas that have been utilized to maintain your adherence to control or systems of control that you have been in alignment to. And the body itself at this juncture must undergo its own rebirth, its own encounter and transmutation. What this means is that the divine self, known in spirit, knows itself as what it is in form, in blood, in tissue, in the vibration that we know of as the upper room. And in this articulation, this name that we will claim you in, you are offering yourself in some ways to be reknown, rearticulated as the manifest being who exists in a high octave. Again, we have said we have worked hard on identity, the claim of worth, the agreement to be, and the manifest form itself has been prepared for its new self to become form as what it is. And if you're following along, I'm on page 122 now. Now we say these words to you each in the comprehension that they may make no sense to the small self. But this is no longer a teaching for the small self. We're speaking directly to form and claiming form, and form itself exists without personality. And if you must know, without an agenda predicated by fear, that would be the self you know of as Paul or Alice or June who uses those words. I am afraid. Your leg will never be afraid, nor will your eye. You may feel fear in the body, but the body itself is not what is in fear. It is in response to what has catalyzed it in a fearful expression. So the words we use are spoken in form to indirectness, and your agreement to them is actually uttered not by the mouth you speak through, but by every cell, every aspect of the body you know. So I'm going to read this claim of truth. And if you're willing to say yes, this is also my claim of truth. I invite you to just say yes. On this day, we claim that the forms that each have taken are regarded new, are resurrected in the true identity of the Christ itself, and the monad, the infinite, the true self of God, come as each one, has now been given permission to embody in fullness And as we say yes to the form of those we speak to, as we say yes to what they believe themselves to be, as we speak to the blood and the bone and the marrow, as we speak to the hair and the lips and the tongue, as we speak to the fingers and toes and vertebrae and intestine, we sing to you in the awareness that what you are is being re-known. And as we invite you, each of you in form, to join us in tone, we acknowledge the manifestation that has been what it was in its new name. So Tony's not my thing, but apparently it's what I'm going to do now, so just bear with me. Man. Ah, ah, ah. I've come. I've come. I've come. You're amazing, awesome, beautiful beings of light. It's my honor and my pleasure to journey with you through the work of Paul Selig, Melchizedek, or the guides if you prefer. To join with you here on Sundays and during the week, sharing the claims of truth, sharing our experiences. Each moment a new opportunity to see ourselves anew, to surrender that which doesn't serve us, and to know ourselves in our truth as who and what we are and how we serve. In service here to one love, to Source Creator God. To join together in a community, not just those on our Facebook page, but in community with Word everywhere. Grateful for the teachings and the blessings and the magnitude of the gifts and the miracles that are present in our lives. Grateful for it all. Have a super awesome day, a great week. Thank you for joining with me today. I love you. I see you. I know who you are.